Okay, bye.
Yes.
So we're like,
Yes. Good evening. And we are live for our 12 days of Christmas, and today is the third episode of our Christmas edition. And I'm superbly excited to welcome a guest which I'm meeting for the first time, Mark. Hello, Mark. How are you? And if you can send me the request to join in on the live, I'd be happy to sign you in and take you to a fabulous journey of our Christmas edition. We just signed in Mark, and I think we would have him on board soon. Just bear with me. It's a wonderful Christmas evening here. Hello,
Hello
Mark.
there. Hey,
Yes,
let me just adjust my camera a little bit so you can all see me.
yes,
There you
yes.
go. How's the sound?
Absolutely clear. Can you hear
Good.
me?
Yes, I can. I can. I've got these earbuds and I can hear you perfectly. Very excited to
Super.
join you today.
Yes, and I've been following you since recently when I got to know that I'll be hosting you, and I've seen you've done fabulous whiskeys, musings of almost 60 whiskeys
Oh, yes,
on
indeed.
your
I,
YouTube. Yes, yeah. So, when was it that you first got to know about Paul John single malts?
oh, many moons ago, the first time I encountered Paul John whiskey was in 2013. That was at a whiskey festival in Belgium. And then for the first time, the core range was presented to Belgian consumers. So we had
Right.
like the classic, the bold, the brilliant, and whatnot. That was my first encounter, 2013 already.
Super, super. And I think we reached you quite early because we launched it in 2012. So 2013 to reach you, not bad. And thank you for your support for almost now 10 years.
Yeah, well, it's not. You don't need to thank me. The whiskey speaks for itself.
Yes, thank you so much. And before we do, I think you've got a bottle of this with you.
I do.
Yes. So let's start our conversation with a good whiskey, which rings
All
in the
right.
Christmas season. Yeah.
Well, this is the second most beautiful sound in the world. Oh, I just love that sound.
Fabulous.
It's only
Well
beat
done.
by the uncontrollable laughter of a baby. That's the most beautiful sound in the world. But opening a bottle of scotch or opening a bottle of whiskey, that is the second most beautiful sound in the world. Definitely.
Fabulous. Let's pour a dram.
Right. It's a beautiful color. That's the first thing that comes to mind. And I actually deliberately chose a white background so I could
Yes,
show the color very clearly. Look at that.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
inviting.
It's beautiful. Yeah, yeah. Just captures a wonderful Goan sunset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's because you used three types of barrels for this whiskey, correct?
No, let me give you a breakdown on how this goes. So there is the heart of the whole thing is ex-bourbon unpeated, which is the heart. Then we have taken some ex-bourbon and put it in a cask for finishing. So first we put it in a brandy cask, and then so that is the second vatting. The third vatting is we've taken an ex-bourbon and have put that peated Oloroso whiskey into the Oloroso cask, a peated whiskey into an Oloroso cask.
Good.
Yeah. So then our master distiller brings out the magic proportions of each, and we then packet this together, rest it for almost 2 months for the flavors to marry, and then it gets bottled and gets beautifully packaged.
Yes,
And yeah, so what is it that you say cheers in Belgium?
Gezondheid.
Croissante. So we'll do it 2
Gezondheid.
times. We'll do it 2 times.
Gezondheid.
We'll do it once in the way it's Belgium done, and how it is done in India. We are trying to create a new one, so we'll do that as well. So let's do the first sip with how we do it in Belgium. So, croissante.
Gezondheid. Cheers. It is now, you may have noticed that my bottle was in fact already open because the moment it arrived, I was so excited to try it. And so I tried it before, obviously in preparation of this little conversation we're having right now. And I was even more excited to be on the show because, spoiler alert, it's a stunner. It's a fantastic whiskey. And it's your 5th Christmas edition. And I've tried the others as well.
Yes.
And to be honest, I think this is the best one so far. This is really
fabulous.
The best one so far.
Thank you. We try to make it first Christmassy, so try to get the Christmas flavors, and second, obviously, make it the most favorite Christmas in the collection every year. The art of vatting and distilling improves. We are able to present, a more refined presentation, and as I mentioned to you, every time it's got a little bit of something new, which may come in future. So this is just to give a glimpse and a taste of,
But if you say you want to make it a little bit better every year, you're setting the bar very high because this is, in my opinion, already a stunning whiskey. So topping this is going to be a tough job. Your master distiller will have his work cut out for him, I think.
Well, when the master distiller, Michael, puts his heart out into the thing, I'm sure every time we can feel something which is genuine and captures the Christmas spirit. And that's what the endeavor is. And I'm sure we will have better presentations going forward as we go with newer casks and newer finishes to work with. So yeah, and let's do this again with an Indian way. Let's taste the second time, and which we in India never had a historical way to do this, but we are trying to create something with Paul John single malts, which is the Great Indian Single Malt. So we're trying to do this Indian way. So it's Jai Ho.
Jai Ho.
Jai Ho, yes. So
Jai Ho.
Jai Ho, yes. So whenever you are savoring a Paul John single malt, whether Christmas edition or not, with your friends, and say this is what they say in India, Jai Ho. So
Jai Ho.
Jai Ho.
I'll try to remember that.
Yeah. So tell me, before the Christmas, what all have you tasted of the range?
Well, from the range, I think I've tasted all the core range, like the Bold, the Brilliant, the Classic, of course. One of my favorites is actually the Oloroso expression and the Kanya. Let's not forget the Kanya. That was a beautiful, beautiful Paul John indeed. But I'm also quite fond of some of your single casks. A couple of years ago, I was able to try a couple of those. One of them, cask 1051, if memory serves, was actually bottled for Belgium. I still have one of those. I bought 3 at the time because it's your single casks are also quite beautiful. Even at high strength, they, in my opinion, they don't need water. They are very well balanced. So I've said it before, and I'll be more than happy to say it now live, that Paul John, in my opinion, is the best Indian single malt around. And it can, in fact, compete with quite a few Scottish malts.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your kind words. And I did look up your bio, and I believe you did a single cask for yourself as well.
Yes, well, I try to bottle 4 single casks a year together with a friend. But it's a hobby that got out of hand a little bit. We just do 4 single casks a year, and that's it. More for the bragging rights than anything else. We're not professionally involved with whiskey at all. It's just a hobby that got out of hand.
And we are happy to, I must add here that we will be delighted to, add to your collection of your hobbies. If any single cask interests you, because that's what we do as well. So earlier we started with doing with our distributors and single malt clubs, but we have been now approached by whiskey lovers individually as well. And
good.
if you would want a Star Wars edition, we would be happy to put that for you as well.
I'll keep that in mind. I'll keep that in mind.
For the Whiskey Jedi, the Whiskey Brotherhood from the other continents.
I like that. But this Christmas edition, I have to say, this nose it's deliciously aromatic on I get apple cake. That must be the brandy cask. Apple cakes complemented with some poached pears, some vanilla.
Yes.
I even get some chocolate liqueur and plums.
Yes. So the thing about the depth which we get for chocolate and plum and dark fruits is basically coming from the peated peated whiskey finished in the Oloroso, and that's what it's drawing into. So we just want to capture the flavors of Christmas. So yes, we definitely get a lot of baking spices as well.
The funny thing is that it is slightly peaty. There is this delicate, soft, smoky jacket surrounding all these fruity flavors. In my opinion, this is perfectly balanced, because the peat is not in your face, and it is actually supporting the fruity flavors in this case, which makes this a very inviting and aromatic nose indeed.
Yeah.
But what I like most about it is the fact that it is the typical DNA of Paul John shines through. No matter what casks you use, that typical DNA of Paul John with those typical Oriental spices, baking spices and such, they are always there. And that's what makes this one of my favorite whiskeys. Oh, beautiful. I'm going to have another sip.
Yes.
It's nice and oily.
Yeah.
And on the palate, it's immediately pretty spicy. There is this touch of delicate sweet and sour peat again, before this whole battery of fruity flavors attacks my taste buds. There's so much going on here. I've got apples, pears on the one hand, bourbon cask, but then on the other hand, I get these apricots and peaches from your sherry cask. It's beautiful. It's like in a stew. And then I get some late vanilla as well, some figs and raisins, some origin chocolate, some sweet chestnuts towards the end. Beautiful.
You're in a country store. I'll ask you to join me on something which I always do, and I love doing this when I'm doing it in a live audience, because the feedback is immediate. But I would give it a try here, and is to take the whiskey, a few drops in the palm of your hand. Yeah, and rub it, let it warm up, and then if you can smell it.
There's a lot going on here.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, and then it just the flavors just explodes with the heat of your hand, and you really get the base spirit of the malt coming through, the spine of the whiskey, the distillate, as a base note. So
beautiful. I'll take it a step further, Mr. Ashar, and I'll just go like this.
All right. that takes care of the going out tonight in the evening. you just dabbled the musk's hormones over there you're definitely going to have a very good evening tonight.
Now in the finish, the peat lingers nicely, but it leaves the fruity notes and some chestnuts, in my opinion, in the spotlight instead of demanding attention. So again, what's his name again? Your master distiller, Michael
de Souza. Yes.
This is a fine piece of craftsmanship. So please extend my congratulations to Mr. Souza as well.
I will definitely do that, and I would just request that if you let it air a bit as well when you are tasting it sometime later, give it about 15-20 minutes. You will get the nuttiness, the hazelnuts, the peanuts coming through as well. But yeah, it just needs a little bit of time to open up. But yeah, it's lovely.
It is.
It's something which is just like a snug blanket, the feeling at home next to a fireplace, and that's what we try to create, that as a tartan blanket for Christmas on the canister.
It's very layered, actually quite complex. Wow, yeah, it's my favorite of all the Christmas editions so far.
Thank you.
And the fact that it sits the fact that it sits at 46% ABV is just perfect, because this is a strength that enables many flavors to shine through. But on the other hand, it does not scare away people who are just starting to discover whiskey. So I think 46 is actually a beautiful, a golden drinking strength, in my opinion. And so whiskey lends it to as well.
Yeah. So 46% is what we present always as a minimum, because it's the lowest that you can get with being non-chill filtered. So below that, it's very difficult to achieve non-chill filter. So 46 is the threshold. So everything above for our flagship starts from 46 and above. Classic, peated, wine cask finishes, Christmas edition, all of that is 46 and above. And so also is our Zodiac series, which is Kanya and Mithuna. So Mithuna should also have reached Belgium, and you should try that as well. And maybe if you feel, we could do a tasting together whenever you would be ready for Mithuna as well. Yeah.
Good idea.
Yes.
I'd like that.
Yeah. And what's your zodiac sign?
Sagittarius.
Okay.
I was born in January. Yeah, I will celebrate my. Is it Sagittarius in English? Sorry, what am I saying? No. What am I saying? I am Capricorn. I'm Capricorn. Yeah.
Yes. So when we do that Capricorn, I will definitely have a tasting with you for sure. Whenever we do that.
All right, we'll do that. It's a date.
It's a whiskey brother promise.
Good.
Yeah. So how's the winter there?
It's actually quite cold, so this comes in quite handy nowadays. Even though you see it's quite sunny in here today, but that's because I'm indoors. But outside it is freezing, like -6 degrees or something. For Belgium, that's cold. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so we in India, it's a tropical country, so it doesn't get much cold. There's very few parts of the north where our barley comes from. It's cold there, but just further up, then it's the Himalayas where it snows. But it's a tropical country, so our barley is a 6-row barley that comes from the north, which is very unique, because as compared to 2-row barleys, which is done in other parts of the world, the 6-row is a lot more proteinaceous, viscous, huskier on the palate. Hence, a lot of butteriness comes onto our whiskeys because of that. The viscosity is because it's got more protein than carbohydrates.
Now, like you said, it's been in the glass now for 10-15 minutes, and that nuttiness that you spoke of earlier is actually coming through now. I do get the hazelnuts, some roasted almond, sweet chestnut.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure if you are aware of this, but I also have a YouTube channel called Mark's Whiskey Ramblings. And on that channel, I do short whiskey videos in English. And I'm actually going to make a whiskey rambling about this beautiful Christmas edition, and I will air it on my YouTube channel on the 24th of December.
Super. Thank you so much. It's such a wonderful. And even this chat of ours will be saved and shared on our channel, and we'll tag you, and let's share.
I'll be happy to share it as well. Absolutely.
Yeah. So the interesting thing about being a great Indian single malt, all the things that we do is the ingredients, and as much as we can make things in India, including are copper pot stills. So there has not been much history of doing copper pot stills in India, but we get our copper pot stills done in India, and surprisingly from a state which is dry. That means there is no alcohol served in that state. So it's a state called Gujarat, and we get our copper pot stills from there. And our barley is 6-row barley from India, which is from the north of India, closer to the granary belt or the grain growing belt of Rajasthan, Punjab, and so on and so forth. Which begs me to ask you the question, have you been to India?
No, no. It's on my bucket list. There's quite a few countries on my bucket list, and India is among them. Because I work at a company where quite a few of my colleagues are in fact based in India. They are working from India.
So there is something that you have to do to change that and create, and we would be happy to take you to Goa, where we distill our single malts.
Well, if I ever get the chance to travel to India, I'll be sure to get in touch with you so we can arrange for a tour of the distillery. I'd love that.
Delighted. Lovely, lovely. Absolutely delighted to host you and take you through what all we do in India in terms of making of our Paul John single malts, the Great Indian Single Malt. And is there something that you must have tried? Our other thing, is there something that is one of your, you mentioned that Kanya was your favorite, but is there something that, why did you, I mean, what was your first thoughts when you saw a single malt from India?
It was a bit of a surprise because obviously, you know, like a little over 10 years ago, nobody in Belgium had heard of Indian single malt. This was a novelty, and we were all a bit, to be fair, we were all a bit skeptical because we are obviously used to all these beautiful Scottish single malts. But then at this festival, there was this guy presenting Paul John. It even sounds English, so what is it? Indian single malt? What do you mean Indian? And that's from India. He said, yeah, you should try it. And I was like, oh, okay. I was a bit skeptical, but then I tried it, and immediately I knew this is the real deal. This is a good, flavorful, perfectly created single malt. So, like I said before, it can actually stand up next to quite a few. And it's not just Indian whiskey. There's whiskey from other countries as well. That really stands out there. That really can stand next to the classic single malts that we are all aware of and in love with. So I have long left the idea that single malt should come from Scotland or Ireland. It does not. Even in our little country, Belgium, we have whiskey distilleries as well.
Yes.
So, you know, it's a science. And if you get it right, and if you do it traditionally and you do it correctly, the end result just might happen to be extraordinarily good, like the Paul John whiskey.
Absolutely. And I think you're spot on that. This is what similarly happened to the wine world before, where the New World wines were as good, and then the Judgment of Paris happened, and it proved that the New World wines were actually better than the French Grand Crus. And I'm waiting for a whiskey Judgment of Paris kind of a thing. Maybe we will do it in Belgium, but yes. And there's a lovely question here, Mark, for you and for me as well. That is, what would you pair this whiskey with? If there is a traditional Belgian food, or if there is a Christmas recipe that is your favorite, and you would say that would go lovely with this?
Yeah, well, in Belgium we have this stew of deer that we often have with Christmas, and that is usually the dark brown, rather thick sauce, very aromatic, very smooth on the palate, and that would be perfectly accompanied by this single malt, I think. But also at the end of dinner, you know, in Belgium we have the tradition of having either a sweet dessert or even a platter of cheeses. And this would also go very well with a platter of cheeses, in fact.
Yeah. No, I think you're spot on. You've captured the robustness and the heartiness of what happens during Christmas. Warm meals, lovely flavors, bringing the family together. Yeah, and I cannot think I mean, now that you've mentioned that there is a stew that you do, I think I'm going to put that into my bucket list of things to taste. Maybe in Belgium when I come there next. But yeah, for me, I think what I like about this whiskey, it's that it's as much as it's distinctive, it's also a very personable in terms of what you would want to pair with. So yes, the cheese definitely, and I think a lot of aged cheese like a Colby cheddar or even a Gorgonzola would go to that. Belgium is known for its cheeses, and I would like to perhaps go for something which is very native to Belgium, which is like a appellation cheese, but very hard and aged for a long time. I would also try with savory desserts as well, which is like a phyllo pastry wrapped like a, I don't know, maybe a mi-fai or a creme brulee kind of a thing, or even a baklava, a light baklava. Yeah, something like that.
But I have a tip for you. I'm not sure that, forgive me if for asking, but I'm not sure if in India you are aware of vanilla ice cream. I presume you do, but just asking.
Yes.
You know vanilla ice cream. All right. Take a bowl, add 2 scoops of vanilla ice cream, and then add a spoonful of this whiskey and pour it over your vanilla ice cream. You will thank me later. And I'm going to have me another one because this conversation is making me thirsty.
And I'm going to follow you as well. So yes, I think I will do the Affogato Christmas edition.
Yeah.
We'll do the Affogato Christmas edition. Yes, absolutely.
When you first pour it, you get the sweet oak with the baked apples, and the hazelnuts really come later, which is quite lovely. I absolutely do not feel any inclination to add any water to this.
Yeah.
It doesn't need it. But I love the way it develops in the glass.
Yeah, and now I'm really getting the stewed peaches and a bit of citrus, the butterscotch. Yeah.
Quite fruity indeed.
Lovely. I mean, it is a Christmas in a bottle.
It is. It is. I cannot promise that this bottle will survive the family Christmas though. I may need to get another one.
Yes.
But having said that, I'm not sure if it is done to say something about pricing in our little chat, but in Belgium, this is quite affordable in my opinion. When I was discussing it last night with my wife while I was tasting it and preparing some tasting notes for it, and my wife said, well, how much is that? But I told her the price in Belgium, and she's like, wow, that's a very fair price. So that too is something that speaks in your favor. Because, Indian whiskey or Far Eastern whiskey, let's say Japanese whiskey, when that comes to Belgium, that's quite expensive. But your whiskey is affordable. So I don't have to break the piggy bank to be able to buy a bottle of John Paul. And that is, in my opinion, I like that about Paul John as well. I can afford it, and I don't need to worry about putting it on the table. Oh, the family's going to finish it. That's fine. I'll just get me another one because it is affordable.
So I'll give you a very, very, I would say, a very important suggestion, right? And you should buy 3. I'll tell you why. One is for yourself to drink. The second one is to keep. Because if you keep the collection, and we are going to do it every year, it would be a very important collectibles for you going forward. And third is to share it with somebody you love. And open the bottle, the third one, share it with your friends, your loved ones, and that would be a fabulous way to share the love for Christmas and the whiskey and Paul John Christmas edition.
Perfect.
Yeah.
say the Indian word for gezondheid again. What was it again in India?
Sorry?
I don't recall the term you used to say cheers in
Oh,
Indian.
yes, Jai Ho.
Jai ho. I have to write that down. Jai ho.
Yes, Jai Ho, indeed. Yes.
Do
So
you still remember the Dutch word?
let's do that again.
Gezondheid.
Croissante. Yes, let's do that. To Christmas, to this year, the Christmas, and to 2023.
May the best of 2022 be the worst of 2023.
Absolutely. Second to that. And Mark, from what can I say, from Paul John Single Malts, from the entire team at the distillery and at our office, I'm at my boss's office. I thought, because he had a Christmas tree, so I said, let's make it a little bit festive. And I thank you for joining us, and it's lovely, and I hope to see you soon in person. If not, maybe for another tasting, and look forward to, I've already signed up and subscribed and followed you, and we'll be in touch. Till we meet
It was
in
an
person.
honor to be there. I was very happy to join you to sample this beautiful whiskey. So gezondheid and a Merry Christmas to all of you at Paul John Whiskey. Cheers.
Croissante and Jero. Thank you.